It's September and the hurricane season usually peaks in activity, and on cue it seems as though someone has put on the light switch. We have Florence out there in the Atlantic, we have Gordon lashing Florida, and we may well have another disturbance brewing out there in the Atlantic. So there is Florence down towards the southeast of the Cape Verde Islands. We have a disturbance which has a medium chance after developing after midweek. But there right now is a tropical storm of Florence. It poses no threat to any landmass at this time, but what it will do as it passes up towards the northwest, well away from us, we're likely to continue to see a bit of the weakening of the trade winds, so we could be seeing a bit more activity from the ITCZ by then. But right now Florence is set to remain out to sea, moving in a northwest direction, and obviously for Bermuda they'll be watching this path quite closely. Now in terms of the rainfall, we've ended the month of August, and right now 289 was the total for that month. Normally you get 264. It's within the normal range, so we likely still see some of those showers that are just petering off as you get towards September, and especially for Tobago it will likely be drier than normal as you go towards September and October. But across the Eastern Caribbean right now there's a ridge of high pressure building, and that will keep conditions pretty stable further up the island chain. But for us there are still pockets of moisture and instability around, so a few showers are likely overnight and into the first part of your morning, and then as the day wears on you notice the hot sunny conditions will give way to cloudiness and those afternoon showers, especially around Trinidad. So first thing in the morning then, along the northwest areas, you will notice the clouds beginning to build from Toco, coming down towards Arima, eventually into Diego Martin, and the scattering of showers will develop through your mid-morning into your afternoon. So it's here where we'll likely see a lot of the moisture converging around the western areas of Trinidad. Here we'll also see the possibility of some thunder showers, and in those thunder showers, as is usual for this time of the year, there's a possibility of street or flash flooding. So be mindful about that as you go through your morning into the middle of the afternoon, and the conditions will settle by nightfall. Now tonight we'll likely see temperatures around 23 degrees Celsius. It will feel cooler in those clearer skies, but definitely 25 degrees Celsius expected around Canaan, and then a high of 32 tomorrow in Tobago and 33 in Trinidad. And it will feel hot all the way through midweek for Wednesday as well as Thursday, despite you seeing a few showers coming through the island chain. And a few of those showers again may turn thundery for Trinidad. We could be seeing the ITCZ pushing in some moisture here through Wednesday and eventually petering out as we go towards Thursday and Friday. Now for fisherfolk and mariners, the swells have been pretty short over the last few days from the east-northeast, but it could lengthen from the east-northeast maybe about 15 seconds or so by the time we get to Wednesday, and that's all courtesy of Florence pushing those swells across the Atlantic and into the Eastern Caribbean chain. So be mindful about that after midweek. Now, the rest of the Caribbean is mostly settled. We have high pressure in charge across the Eastern Caribbean for the most part, so there's very little chance of us seeing some showers there. Up towards the north, there's an area of low pressure that is at the top of the atmosphere. That upper level trough will likely unsettle the Leeward Islands. But we start now with Bridgetown, mostly settled, mostly sunny skies. Up towards the north, we talk about that upper level trough bringing some thunder showers for Antigua and for St. Kitts, and also down towards Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So for Santo Domingo, if you're heading that way, watch out for those thundery downpours. 32 degrees Celsius here, 35 is still expected in Port-au-Prince, so they could be seeing some late afternoon thunder showers rumbling through there. Now we have been talking about the tropical storm Gordon lashing Florida with those showers. Now it is moving over some warm waters, 27, 30 degrees Celsius in places, so you could be seeing definitely Gordon strengthening into a hurricane before making landfall. So obviously there are some warnings out there, hurricane warnings out towards the central Gulf Coast, so they'll be watching for flooding, gusty winds and possibility of some tornadoes as well. But for us, we'll see some sunny spells, and then we'll get those showery spells erupting during the afternoon with a touch of thunder as well. So that's your weather, and that's it from me.